Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin, I would like to invite you to reflect on a certain plan. This is the default plan, the plan that's being laid out in front of you by your peers and predecessors, your parents and their parents, your teachers, your politicians, and your fellow men.
Why don't you get a goddamn job? You know what a job is? That's when people get up in the morning and they go to work and they get paid real fucking money!
The plan is called slavery. And slavery, let's be honest, is a dream of mankind, an ancient dream. It is the dream of the easy life, of not having to worry, of having someone else guarantee your survival, having someone else relieve the burden of life. For life is a burden indeed, and every creature mysteriously finding itself in this absurd orchestra, in this carnival of animals, must, from the time it wakes in the morning until it is overcome by slumber in the evening, make the best use of its abilities to fight the ever-encroaching, relentless march of chaos, of external forces. Of course, they don't call this plan slavery. They call it being an adult. They call it being responsible. They call it getting an education. They call it getting a job, or more frequently, a career, because all that is allowed to the slave is the small and temporary relief of flying with fantasy, of playing with words. Nearly everyone on the planet has traded their freedom for convenience, their self-determination for comfort. A free human wakes up refreshed in the morning as the bedroom naturally and gradually warms up and brightens up with natural sunlight. He or she looks out and sees nature smiling, welcoming, saying, "All's good on this side. What are you going to create today?" A slave, on the other hand, wakes up to the annoying sound of an alarm clock, orchestrates a frantic effort to become presentable in the shortest possible amount of time, heads out in shitty gray weather, in a steel box, in a concrete city, arrives at his modern-day sugar plantation, where he or she is told, "This is what you will do today, this is what you will believe." I have used words which I should define. First, freedom. Freedom is not doing nothing, though for most people, doing nothing for a while could only be beneficial. It is not living in a vacation, though most people should really take half a year off to get to know someone they barely talk to, themselves. Freedom is the ability to decide who you are and who you will be, the ability to think up things that excite you and then work at your own pace to make them real. Freedom is the dignity to be able to have your own culture, not someone else's forcibly imposed, idiotic corporate culture.
Do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography, telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis?
If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say.
Most people today are not ready for freedom. They have been trained for serfdom since an early age, and they dig it. Sit down, shut up, and do what the teacher tells you, or you will get a bad grade. I also use the word self-determination. Most of the problems in the world happen because no one wants to take responsibility for anything. Their ability to deal with things is severely limited. They'd rather leave it to someone else to fix the problems. Let government fix the economy. Let scientists fix pollution. Let future generations pay off the national debt. Well, self-determination is the process of dealing with things by yourself. And its reward is when your life turns into an adventure, instead of being a passive grade B movie where every 5 seconds some shithead tells you what you have to do. Self-determination brings growth, the real growth that forms an adult. We are all familiar with our so-called universities. They are overpriced because they're in high demand, because serfdom is in high demand, because, as I've stated, slavery is a dream of mankind. What do you have? A bachelor's degree? That's a slavery certificate. Master's degree? It's called that because it's issued by your masters. A PhD? Congratulations. You've shown that you're in the top 1% for your ability to put up with bullshit and sit down and shut up for 20 years in a row. Now, don't get me wrong, knowledge is extremely valuable. Knowledge is everything. But knowledge comes from being interested in something. It comes from experimentation, from passion. It doesn't come from sitting in an introductory course for $550 with some professional speaking monkey reading a text to you, with two super hot bitches from Vietnam sitting in front of you, chatting away the whole time. Some people can still use universities, make them work for them. They can still get out having learned a little bit of something interesting. But there is a small minority. And at what price? Have you seen the price of these classes? Have you seen the price of textbooks? You seriously want to buy a biology textbook for $150, recommended by the same professor who's teaching the class and making money off of it, when all that's in it will be obsolete within 5 years? Well, you know what's great? That finally the world has educated enough slaves that there is now an overabundance of them, and now their system collapses. Highly learned professional slaves with degrees in business, science, hospitality, lesbian studies, you name it. And people are starting to figure out that you can wipe your ass with these things. And that's where Kiss My Ass University comes in. We are the University of Freedom. We teach you the technology of freedom. Let me ask you a question. How many of you can code an app? Probably many of you. If you can code an app, you probably know something about JavaScript. And if you can fix a motorbike, you probably know something about engines. There is a technology behind everything. How many of you can write an email today to your boss saying, "Kiss my ass," and add some little emoji somewhere in it? Probably fewer than can write an app. Well, there's a technology behind that too. The technology of Kiss My Ass is highly multidisciplinary. You need to know a little bit about a great number of things. Serfdom, instead, seeks to specialize you, to teach you everything about one thing, so that you will be a very useful monkey, but be completely incapable of going out in the real world and building something for yourself. The technology of Kiss My Ass is nothing without the psychology of Kiss My Ass. Freedom starts from within. A serf with the knowledge of a free man will still be a serf. At Kiss My Ass University, we don't teach you how to get something. We teach you how to become something. We focus heavily on undoing the damage that has been done to you by your schooling and parents, who have explicitly and implicitly taught you very disempowering notions about how the world works and how money works. But we are not a money school. You will not learn how to get filthy rich here, for two reasons. First of all, I'm not filthy rich, so I can't teach you how to do it yet. And second, we're not for that type of person. See, the web is full of resources for people wanting to get filthy rich. If you want to deal with lawyers, employees, employee compensation, labor laws, lawsuits, option vesting, investors, be my guest. Jump in this retarded orgy of all those who want to become filthy rich. Maybe you'll make it. Maybe you are the one who, against all odds, will be favored by the law of large numbers. If you do succeed, however, likely you'll end up like most of the rich people that I've met during my travels around the world, sitting on the beach right next to me with their mobile in hand, trying to patch up some screw up and having to book a flight back home at a moment's notice. Or angry as fuck because on the day they wanted to use their boat, it wasn't in working conditions and they're paying $100,000 a year for parking and maintenance. But one thing is clear, getting rich is easier than staying rich. If you think you've got money problems, you have no idea how many money problems rich people have. Once you're rich, everyone is after your money. You've got to worry about where to put it, how to hide it, and money dies out with inflation. Everyone promises huge gains, but most times you'll get fucked and lose it. If you get rich quickly, chances are you will almost surely lose it because you have no training in how to preserve it. Being rich, having millions of taxable, decaying dollars in the bank, and ever-expanding desires as a result, is not where freedom is. Freedom is in having a relatively small amount of passive income that goes completely under the radar. No one is interested in taking it from you. You produce it by doing something you love. Once that comes in and is on autopilot, you are already working on the next one. If one dies off, you have or make another one. It is this knowledge and experience, the ability to create streams of passive income in a nearly automatic fashion, that is a guarantee of perpetual freedom, and possibly the only real one. Once you get the freedom, that's when you can spend a few years doing whatever you damn please. And once you get bored of that, then that's the best part. You're able to work on your calling, your mission. Give your gifts. Make the world a better place. That is how you really get rich, by changing things for the better for a huge number of people. But you can't do it because you need the money. That's not how it works. Every goddamn fool needs money, and they need it now. You have to do it when you're a free man and operating out of passion, not scarcity. That is when you can afford to take risks that you must take to be successful. This is Kiss My Ass University. We don't give bad grades. If you fail, it's your fucking problem. We don't give partial credit. Either you make it and we'll see you around some beach somewhere, or you don't. We don't teach useless shit. If it doesn't lead to freedom, it belongs in the realm of hobbies or mental jerk-off. And jerking off in public is strictly forbidden on the university grounds. We have no interest in keeping you hooked for 4 years. If we could condense everything into 5 minutes, we would. Listen to this shit, thank you very much, now get the fuck out. Now, if you do join, prepare to have your common sense violated. Because the truth is, most people are fucking stupid, and they love being serfs. And this whole world is set up to allow people to live in a delusion. Be prepared to piss off your parents. They won't like what you will learn here.
Why don't you get a goddamn job?
There is zero political correctness, zero going easy on new people, and zero tolerance for bullshit. We'll do what we can to shake you out of the trance that society has put you in, because in fairness, it wasn't your fault. But at the end of the day, we don't need your money. We are already in the position of fuck you. What is the best way to tell whether you would be suitable for Kiss My Ass University? If you have ever looked in the mirror in the morning, knowing that you have 17 minutes to brush your teeth, put your shoes on and get out, and thought to yourself, fuck this shit, you may be a good candidate. If that happens every day, you may be a very good candidate. If you have ever thought, if my boss is not as smart as me, why is he the one calling the shots? You may be a good candidate. If you're already free, but you're living like a fucking beggar in a $5 a day guest house, hitchhiking your way to your next destination, and with cockroaches biting your ass at night, you may be a good candidate. If you went through the steamroller, married an ugly bitchy wife, shouldered a couple kids until the age of 18, and now realize time has gone by and you've missed out on a lot in life and are ready for a new youth, then you may be a good candidate. If you are a highly skilled professional and dedicated your life to learning something really complex, and then you see complete idiots doing whatever the fuck they want and owning your balls, and have thought to yourself, fuck this shit, you may be a good candidate. We will teach you the technology of freedom, the theoretical framework of stick this resignation letter up your ass, the quantum mechanics of I'll send you a postcard from Bora Bora, the mathematics of kiss my ass. Those who are not ready, please return to your cubicles, take those calls, print those reports, deliver that well-commented reusable code. For the ones who are, simply email us at admissions@kissmyass.university.